Well, hello there. It's nice if you push the button. I apologize. But it's up now. So it was done yesterday. Yesterday was an interesting day. Yesterday was my therapy day, where I grow and learn and face things I don't always wish to face. But then we all must to grow. Yeah. So let's talk. I like doing these things, these little pieces of wisdom, and somehow I feel like maybe they do something for people. And I'm glad to give them. You know, there is an amazing, wondrous space of worship that maybe many don't even really realize. So I thought, well, just for a couple of minutes, we'll talk about that. And that is, we do all things for the glory of God, right? And if it doesn't give God glory, maybe we shouldn't do it. That's a given. But if we do that, then that's worship. So, when you do the dishes, you can be worshiping God if you do it in the right fashion. But you do it to glorify God. Uh, Dishes are not great. Nobody likes to do them, not even me. But when I do them that way, when I'm worshiping, when I'm singing, the song this morning was, Holy Ground. And interestingly, it felt like it. That's not perfect. I mean, I get it every day, but if we do things to the glory of God, just imagine it's worship. It's a way of saying, hey, God, I love you. And I wish to give this to you, this time, this event, this structure. And I wish it to be done so that you gain glory. Could be amazing. Why don't you give it a go? If you need to get a hold of me, it's Eric at starthealing.me. And you send me an email, I'll send you a link. You uh, book an appointment and we talk. I may be part of your healing puzzle. Let's find out. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It helped, you know. Um, Helps others find this. Uh, that's my main course here, is to get this stuff out. Am I a great storyteller? I do not know. I am a storyteller. Born, bred, and breathed. So yes, to me, it's okay. Well, it's Wednesday here, so it's time for another story from Toes. Christ's time on earth. Yes, I know. Should watch what we end up with for acronyms. It works. And this one is interesting. This is connected to something that was other than me moving big stones and doing archaeology. Well, I was not an archaeologist. I was just a stone mover. But I got to see some things. But this, no, this came from somewhere else and taught me something amazing about Christ's life that I didn't know before. People are, "Oh, what? Christ's life? Yes. Well, I mean, he lived it, right? We know he had a childhood. We don't hear much of it. We hear him coming to the temple at 12. And that was enough. And he said what he needed to say. I got very angry. But then they would get very angry with a lot that he would say, because the truth doesn't always bring peace. But there is a moment in his childhood that I heard about from a source of history keepers that call themselves the mystic Jews. They're the ones that follow Christ and gave me that interesting understanding of they were mystics following the head mystic, Christ, who was following the mystery, God. Made sense to me. Hence, the name of my little server, Mystic Mutterings. I'm just muttering. I'm just the donkey. But maybe the donkey once in a while has good words. You could ask Balaam about that. Saved his life. So here we go. Jesus would have been probably about 6 or 7. Hadn't moved into his ministry, wasn't doing anything miraculous. But he was having a great time helping an elderly lady. And she was very elderly. She was in her 70s, and for that time frame, that was incredibly elderly. She required a chair that she could get up and down from. The chairs that she had no arms. And Joseph was a builder, but he also was a carpenter. But he didn't have time. He was in the middle of a big project. He had been tutoring his son, so he said, "Son, you go and talk to the nice lady. Find out the measurements for the chair, and then you build it. And I'll look at it before it's delivered." So off he went. He talked with the lady. Of course, he talked with the lady about godly things because that's what that boy did. That was just who he was. That's how he operated. Hadn't been anointed to do it, just was doing it because he knew Father, even at that point. How connected? Who knows? I would say fully connected. Talked with her about some things that she was going through, and as he did, he measured the chair that she sat on that she found most comfortable and measured her so that it would make sure that um so he had talked and he had figured out what she required, and she had been quite pleased with him, and he went back to his father's workshop and he built a chair, not just any chair. He built the chair for her, and he didn't just work with wood. He realized that there had to be something that would help her get up. So he created a chair that basically was springed, and when she wiggled her butt, it would release and help her go up. Made sure it was sturdy, strong. Joseph came back from a hard day's work and looked at his work and went, "Wow, that's awesome. That'll really help her." "How did you figure this out?" And he goes, "Father, me and Father sat here and talked, and this is what we designed." And he goes, "Good boy." And he was a bit amazed, he could tell. But they took the chair over and they set it down, and she sat on it, and he said, "Now wiggle your butt." And she wiggled it, and it popped up, and she went, "Wow, that was fun. That'll get me out of my chair." And he said, "Very easy, just sit down and it will click back in place." She sat back down and it clicked back in place. And he came and he did adjustments because there were little things that didn't quite work for her. And he talked with her and he helped her understand more about Father, more about his love and care and concern for her, and that this chair was an example of that, and that it had come from Father's hands to his hands. And he was giving Father the glory as it was meant to be. That God had given him this amazing thing, and so he was able to help this woman. And he gave God the glory, of course, because that's what you do. You know, those small stories, even these ones, which I'm going to leave it there. It's not very much more to tell, but it gives you an idea that Father is in the details. Father is in the small things, not the big things. You know, it's awesome and nice to have a person you can say, you know, look what connected to me, but I've always been, and some people will argue, but they don't understand me, and I get that. I don't get my earnestness and things, and that I've lived more life than I should, but I did. So I guess it isn't a should, I guess it is and is. And people can believe or disbelieve, it doesn't really matter. That's something you'll learn along the way. You get to a point where you just let it all go. Oh, I take anything that's given to me. I go to my therapist, I go to my mentor, I go to my church, I go to my pastor. We chew on it, we talk about it, but in the end, it's an opinion. It's somebody's vision of what happened. It's not the story. Only God knows that story. Just like this one. I know this little bit. I wonder what else is there. Wonder what they talked about because that was not said. The mystic just looked at me and said he built a chair and gave me basically the story I just gave you. And when I asked questions, he goes, not important. He didn't say I don't know. He said not important. The thing that was important was that a chair that helped her to get up, to move around for another 10, 15 years, whatever she lived. And she was doing well, so she might be doing another 10 years. And this chair helped her get up and down. That was her main issue. Just didn't have the strength she used to. And God met that. God decided that was important. Doesn't that tell you something about God? Bet you it does. Okay. A blessing. I think we'll just go with wonder and joy and peace. Because those are beautiful things, and we always require those, especially wonder. You know, a flower can bring us to wonder. A doorknob can too. Isn't it interesting? And whatever that brush wishes to paint for you, all of those things that would be far past what I would ever think, act, or do. And according to that one's will, which is God's will, and your will, it can be. When we come before your Father, and first thing we're going to do is very simply just get them invited in if they wish to. They know that this is a Christian endeavor, they might call it that. I call it a Christ-centered endeavor moving towards relationship greater than what I have now. So we do that very simply by saying, oh Lord, I am a sinner. That's a given. And I can't do it on my own. That's also a given. And that I ask you to come and dwell with me and hold my hand in trouble, as you have said you would do. And I also ask the Holy Spirit to come and dwell within me and fill me. And when you say that and you ask that in Father's name, it's done. It's over. Yeah, Father's name, Jesus' name. It happens because you are giving into the truth. That's all you're doing. And then tell someone. And if it's the hundredth time, well, let the darkness be pushed back from all of these events. If it's the hundredth time, then Father, just do what you do. Take them deeper, show them something more, give them more light so that they can see better. And we thank you for doing so. We thank you for these stories. They're short, sometimes long, others, but they are stories and they're yours to use in whatever fashion you wish to use them, as am I. I am here. what happens here is what I wish is always to be God's. So we leave it in that space. We do push back the darkness. We do know that there is a lot of that out there right now. You know what? Focus on the kindness. That's what God would say to you right now. Focus on the kindness, and you'll find it, and it'll be amazing, and it'll feed your soul. Let's just wrap this in God's wonderful love and support. And He has such an amazing love for you. Asking for grace and courage and mercy and strength as we go. I always say thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude. Standing in awe and honor and respect, allowing all glory to flow. Father, Spirit, Son, this is. And so this is. Hmm. A simple blessing, just that you walk on the road that God lights for you, that you find the answers that are meant for you. This day, that it becomes a day of greater light than the day before. And when you rest well. When you wake well. Know that that path is well lit by God. Blessings.